This is Thoughts with C, J, and L.
A podcast by three Asian American people with thoughts on being Asian, American, and people.
On this episode, we're talking about our thoughts and experiences with physical health.
So obviously we all have our own experiences with physical health and sports since we all played frisbee together. I guess we can start off by asking, what does physical health mean to you and why is it important? And that can include fitness, exercise, sports, or nutrition, or any struggles or lessons we've learned on the way.
Okay, so I feel like when I was an undergrad, when I thought about physical health, all that meant to me was like going to the gym and working out slash running. Like it was just like very exercise slash sport focused. But then over the summer, like after graduating and realizing that like stress and the stress and no sleep life in undergrad like really wrecked my body, I was like, wait, this is part of physical health too. So if we're talking about journey with physical health, I feel like I've got my like the fitness aspect of it kind of covered, but I'm now working on the sleep slash stress management aspect of it. I think that's where I'm at.
So what kind of stuff are you doing for like the fitness aspect?
Fitness aspect, it's been just going to the gym and running. I think I like it a lot. It's very normal, my schedule. The gym that I go to has been recently pretty empty and good about like COVID and distancing and masking. So yeah, I feel like I've in a space now where I have it incorporated into my schedule and I enjoy it. It's fun. It's almost like meditative. um yeah. It was definitely a struggle to do it regularly when I was in school though, for sure. But now that I'm out, I think it's been good.
When did you start running? Like, did you start running in high school or did you start during college? Like, when did you start building these habits?
Um, Wait, no, I feel like this is good though, because I think I jumped into your question like right now. I think so I did like run sort of in high school, not a lot. I like liked sports, but I didn't really play a whole lot of sports. Because I guys, I'm not athletic in the sense of like hand-eye coordination slash balance slash agility. You know what I mean? Like I'm not an athlete in that respect. Um, yeah, so like I don't know, I think I just tried to do some running, but again, like I don't know, as a high schooler, I feel like I really didn't think a lot about fitness or physical health in general. Because I feel like I've just been a pretty healthy person. But then in college, I feel like playing frisbee really taught me a lot about like the fitness slash sport aspect of physical health. And then after I played for those 2 years, I was able to take that and like do my own thing, like running. I like trained for a half marathon with a friend who was a runner and learn about running and then learn about lifting from Jam. Shout out to Jam, my coach. And yeah, so that's I think like my journey on the fitness side of it.
Where do you want to go?
Let me think. Okay, so I grew up all my life playing sports. So I guess I didn't really have to think about physical health because it was just there. And in high school, I was on the soccer team. I was on JV, and then I got up to varsity, and I kind of had to train for that because I wasn't like the best. But then once I was on varsity, we like learned about lifting and eating, right? I don't know if it was correct though. All I know is that we had carbs before the game, so they weren't wrong about that. But like the amount of carbs that we needed for one game, looking back, like I don't know. Well, maybe it's also because I was a bench player, but yeah, I digress. And then I got to college, found frisbee, and that kept the whole sports thing going. But then like the lifting part really helped with shout out to Jane because like when we didn't have practices, even though that was like what 3 or 4 times a week, I still filled up the holes with lifting, which was good. But I guess for me, physical health is like so important in that I am majoring in it. It's like I'm getting a master's degree in physical health or public health in physical activity because I just think that it's so important. And I'm learning about the different aspects of it now. But the reason why I'm in it isn't because of just sports in general. I just realized in college how much joy it brought me. I could talk so much about it, but I wanted to study it because I realized that there were communities out there that didn't really have the same resources that I did. And I thought there was like this beautiful thing that I had growing up, and not everyone could do it. So I thought that was a problem. And apparently, there's a very niche degree for it. So I just went for that. And I've been enjoying my classes so far. But one thing that I've learned, or it's more apparent to me, is that like physical health isn't just straight up exercise or lifting heavy weights. Of course, it depends on like the population that you're talking about, but in the physical health guidelines, which I had to write a whole paper on. I wrote a 12-page paper on like physical health for this past semester, and I just, whew, but like, like physical health also includes light activities like doing laundry or cooking.
Oh.
And it's important to like do those as well and not just stay sedentary, but more increase your overall physical activity for your health. And that can go a long way as well. But enough about that rant. I could go on and on, but I think that's as concise as I could make it for now. I'll work on it for my elevator pitch when I talk to employers.
Jam, your physical health story. Your, what is it, 30-second elevator physical health pitch.
Okay. I would say my physical health journey started when I was in middle school. I actually didn't play any sports until college. Well, I did cross country for 2 years in high school, but I was like really bad at it because I'm just really bad at long distance running. But anyways, I didn't play any sports in middle school. But I would say my physical health journey started in middle school because I actually developed an eating disorder in 8th grade. And it was kind of a combination of like body image and also other societal pressures on me. So, yeah, I developed anorexia. So, I basically wasn't really eating at all because I was insecure about my own body. So, I had to go to the doctor for that. And it was kind of weird because I was like restricting my food intake a lot, but I also wasn't exercising because at that time I didn't really know anything about exercising. I also wasn't in sports. So I was just mainly restricting my food intake. I was also going through puberty, so I was like supposed to be growing, but I was losing a lot of weight, which was a problem. So I went to the doctors and I had to like start on this recovery journey. It was just like basically me trying to eat more food to get myself up to like a healthy weight. And then, so because I had this diagnosis, at first the doctors were like, no, you can't do any physical activity. You can't join a sport or anything like that because their sole goal was for me to gain weight and exercising would defeat that purpose. And then so well, okay, this is another topic, but my doctor was actually pretty horrible to me. Like, long story short, he wasn't very helpful. So basically, my mom had to take over and then force me to eat all this food that I didn't want to eat and like help me get healthy. So technically, we weren't under this doctor's provisions. And then so by 9th grade, I was quote unquote healthy enough to join cross country. And that was kind of like my only outlet of like physical activity since I was like really uncomfortable from eating all of that food. But yeah, so that's when I started actually exercising was cross country. So I did that for 2 years, mostly because my friends did it, not because I was good at it. But after 2 years, I was like, okay, clearly I'm not good at this. And I'm also not very committed to the team because I like skipped practice a lot. So I quit cross country. And then ironically, after I quit, I started running a lot more regularly on my own because I felt like I didn't have to compete with anyone else on the team. So I started running regularly. That carried into college where I joined Frisbee. ultimate frisbee.
Woo.
And then,
Yeah, say the whole
yeah,
name.
yeah, ultimate frisbee, not frisbee golf. Yeah, so I joined ultimate frisbee, and then I played that for, I guess it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years now. And I also started lifting in the middle of that. So I've been kind of keeping that up as best as I can in quarantine too. So now I kind of do a mixture of running and lifting and other types of workouts.
Wow, look at us.
We ended up in the same place, but we had such different paths growing up.
Yeah, wait, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think when I was in college, or not in college, in high school, I mean, I feel like I related to what you were kind of talking about, Jam, in that, oh my gosh, I feel like we kind of talked about this in like our very, very first episode about body image, but it was like that like whole correlation between how you look and fitness and your like level of activity. I
Mhm.
feel like I've come a long way in that respect since high school, personally. I think I've managed to kind of, well, not fully separate myself because there's always stuff there, but like it was like that tweet that I sent you guys. I'm gonna read the
Love.
tweet. Tested positive for thinking I was fat in high school, only to realize it was the skinniest I've ever be.
That's so accurate.
Yep.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm in a good place with my physical health now. It's like an upward trend.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting how, or at least for me, my fitness journey started because of like body image issues and not because I actually wanted to be healthy, especially because all of our bodies are built differently and we're kind of fed this like stereotypical image of like what our bodies are quote unquote supposed to be. But if we actually try to achieve that, it's actually very detrimental to our health.
Mhm.
They definitely do not teach nutrition and physical activity well in any school level. Like elementary school, I think the most I got was like we had like vegetable of the month or whatever, but what? And then you just associate vegetables at that age with like the typical responses like, ooh, I hate spinach. But like I mean, like they definitely could portray it a different way. And then for me, anyways, PE was just something you kind of dreaded to go to,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which like it definitely didn't have to be. And there were so many active kids in my school. Like everyone played a sport after school, but everyone just hated PE. So like if you like exercise but you hate PE, that's like a sign that whatever you're doing is definitely wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my paper, we're going to talk about that a lot today. It was like the importance of educating college students because that's when like you start developing these behaviors or these patterns and daily habits, which we've all talked about, like how in college we found our own way. And luckily we had frisbee for that, but so many college students don't have that. Most kids go from like what high school stars to just doing nothing after because they don't have that structure.
Yeah, that's something I noticed too when I was thinking back. Like in elementary school, we would have like recess where we would be forced to go outside, move around. But once you hit middle school, you just go from class to class and there's no set time for recess or any kind of physical activity unless you participate in the sport, which not everyone is able to do. And for me and like a lot of my classmates, once we hit middle school, it's like we just didn't move.
Yeah, wait, and then like even now, right? I've noticed because I have like a Fitbit and I track my steps. Woo. Like in college, easily hit 10,000 steps a day because you walk from class to class. Even if you don't run or whatever, like every hour because you have a different class, you have to walk somewhere. Like you easily get your recommended 10,000 steps a day. Now, oh my gosh, you two know because I complain about this all the time. But, like, if I don't want to, if I don't make the active decision to go walk around outside, especially, like, working from home, your girl gets less than 2,000 steps a day. Like, I have to go on hour-long walks to, like, get anywhere near 10,000 steps. And even with, like, going to the gym and stuff, because like, when you're lifting, you're not really walking necessarily, but, like, I feel like the mobility is so important, and I'm like, I'll, like, get up to go for my walk and be like, "I've been working out, like, I gotta use my workout muscles for something, like, I can't just sit in my chair."
Yeah. Oh my god, can I
Uh,
share 2 thoughts?
yeah.
Okay, we're going back to the paper. Okay, yeah, like, one thing that or the paper was basically surrounded on the idea that, like, there are so many things that we can do that we just don't realize that we can, like, implement into our daily habits that will increase those steps, like, I started vacuuming. That's, like, one way to get the steps in. I also, like, leave my water bottle upstairs or, like, in another room so that I have to get up and go fill it up, and, like, I started using a smaller water bottle so that I would have to refill it more, so I just, like, increased those steps. But obviously, like, those all can't accumulate, so, like, there has to be other ways. So then, like, that could be walking to your grocery store instead of driving. Of course, that means that, like, it needs to be accessible, and not everyone has that, like, even with a car, so but it's just, like, finding little things. But I also it's a whole thing because like, it's a privilege to have the time to specifically, like, dedicate time towards working out
Yeah.
and moving around. So then another idea I had, if anyone out there wants to start an app with me where you increase physical activity by actually using your muscles for something, because like you're right, like I don't know why I'm curling so much because the most I lift is a pencil. And like
Right.
I don't know why I'm gaining this muscle, and sometimes like this is a problem that I have to get over, but like to me it seems like a waste of energy and like calories because it's just like I have this muscle but I don't do anything. So this app idea I have is you like sign up and it's kind of like Tinder and you match, with someone who needs help. And like maybe it's an old lady who needs help carrying her boxes, but you actually like lift something and do work that's productive or like actually means something rather than just like lifting a barbell up and putting it down. Of course, I'm guilty of all of this, but like this also just runs through my mind sometimes. I'm like, why am I doing this? Now that I don't play a sport, there's no reason for me to be lifting so much weight. Like there are other exercises you can do just to like maintain like posture and like smaller muscles that you need to live. But yeah. Anyways, that's another rant that I
Wait, I have a response
go.
to a couple of those things. I may play devil's advocate.
Oh,
Um
let's do it. Oh my gosh.
Wait, okay. First, I think the one thing that comes to mind for me when I'm like, okay, what am I doing these muscles for? Is carrying groceries from my car to my apartment. Because it's like my old roommate and I we have this joke. Well, it's probably not our joke. I think it's just an internet joke, but it's like I ain't no two-trip bitch. And it's just like one trip only. I will like hold everything in my arms and struggle so hard. This is another tangent, but I'm gonna say it really quick because it relates to the simulation. But I think there was a TikTok that I saw where the person was like, "You know how I know we live in a simulation? I've never seen any of my neighbors carry groceries from their car to my apartment. Like, how are they alive? I'm the only one out here struggling with grocery bags. One for
Wait,
the."
I think you mentioned this the other day. And so I was like looking specifically for my neighbors, like when I was on my walk, and I was like, there we go. That's a grocery bag. We don't live in a simulation.
Yeah, so there's that, and then my other rebuttal is, I feel like even, like, vacuum like, my apartment's small, right? I could vacuum my whole apartment and basically not move at all, and same thing with like, I don't have a second floor to leave my water bottle on,
Yeah.
but
I
those
mean,
are,
that
like, accessibility points, I guess. I'm still waiting for your program, Loho, of how to do 10,000 steps a day without actually walking 10,000 steps.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a funder out there to help me out. I have like everything written out. I know the what is it, the inputs that we need. I have outputs laid out that's research based. If anyone help. But like so then the part of the program was understanding your living situation and like what your work requires. Yeah.
Alright, you can be my consultant.
I wish this was a job. Maybe it is, and I just don't know it yet. I mean, there
Yeah.
has to be like some occupational health kind of things in the workplace, right?
Mhm.
I think Loho, you mentioned something before where it's like exercising for sports versus exercising for health and maintenance. I think my mindset is always exercising for maintenance or health, even when I was playing frisbee. I mean, like, yes, there was the benefit of, oh, I can perform better if I work out and like keep myself fit, but I don't think I would say that was my main goal when I was exercising throughout the seasons.
This is very interesting to hear as your former captain who, you know. No, but I totally understand. Like, it's a tool essentially. Like that's the initial reason why I got into it. For me now, physical activity is like a way that I take a break from work and I don't know, exercise, endorphins, all that. Like I get that hit, you know? But if like I didn't need that, I don't know if I would do it. But of course, there's so much more into it, like how important it is for your cardiovascular health and stuff. Um,
I think that's interesting coming from you because this is probably like your first. Is this your first time not playing a sport? Because you played all throughout your childhood and like high school and in college.
yeah, it sucked. Like I ran a half marathon and I think that was my placement for a sport. Like I needed something to motivate me
Mm,
or else I wouldn't have done it.
Mm.
Yeah, because like now I'm running and like I'm like there's nothing to work for.
mm.
So now I'm gonna try a whole marathon.
Yeah.
Wait, is that serious?
Yeah. But like not anytime soon. But yeah, because I was like, well, 13.1 miles plus 7, that's easy. That's 20. You just add 6 more after that. I was like, I can do that, but I definitely can't. I have to remember I was dying on mile 10.
The audience is going to keep you accountable.
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yeah. That was like half the reason why I did it. Like the other motivation because I told so many people that I was gonna do it. I was like, it can't be a flake, you know? But yeah, it's interesting not having a motivation to do it. Because I mean, it's so hard to see like when you do these preventative health things, you're doing it to prevent something. So you don't see any results. Like maybe if I live past 80, that'll be the reward. But right now, there's like nothing in front of me.
Mm.
And like I can't see my heart. Like,
Wow, that's a strong heart you've got there.
wow. Like, imagine if your heart was like the way that we see like models on Instagram now. It's like, oh, that's a hot heart you got. Like I model my heart.
My heart is bigger than your heart.
Oh.
Size doesn't matter.
Heart positivity.
Heart size does matter though. It's important. There are different kinds of heart sizes.
Oh my god. I feel like your take is pretty different from my take. I feel like my take is a little bit more similar to Jam's in that when I work out, it's really just for day-to-day maintenance. And yeah, at this point I feel like for me working out has almost become, like I said earlier, meditative. Like I just go and it's like cuz my brain like will not shut up. I don't know if this is normal or if my brain is just like this, but I like can't stop. It's not that I overthink, it's just, like, my mind is like a gear or motor, and it's just like like, constantly, and so going to the gym, I feel like is the one time of day where my brain will shut off for an hour while I'm conscious, and so it's almost better for my brain than it is for my physical body.
Mm.
I mean, it's good for my physical body too, but I think I get more out of it mentally.
If this helps at all, my brain also doesn't shut off, but I don't like, that's n equals 2, so I don't know if that like means anything. Like,
I think that's also why I've started to realize that like sleep and stress management are really important for me in terms of physical. Like this is getting kind of into mental health probably, which spoiler we're going to talk about in another episode. But I think it does like I realized a couple months ago that like I was just exhausted and so like you feel exhaustion physically. And so sleep is an important part of physical health and mental health.
No, yeah, I ran better on days that I got more sleep.
Mhm.
Wait, would you guys ever do? Well, you already did a half marathon. Did you run a full marathon?
No. Wait, I swore I wouldn't run a full marathon after I run the half marathon because I hate running. But wait, if you're gonna do a full marathon,
Peer pressure, peer pressure.
maybe just to do it once, I would consider it.
Yeah.
But I really like would have to look at the calendar and like I would want to run it temporally. I would want to run it, I think, in May because there's no way I'm training for a marathon during the summer because running in 80-degree weather slash humidity is the worst freaking thing ever. Oh my goodness. This summer I ran a lot because of quarantine and being at my parents' house. And running in 80, I mean, it did make me stronger, but I really wanted to throw up after every run. I don't know, I can't do it. I would rather run in, like, 20-degree weather during a blizzard than anything above, like, 75 degrees.
Well, yeah, same here. I've noticed that because I absolutely hate the cold, but the one thing that's good about it is that it's good running weather because it numbs your muscles and you can't feel the pain.
Yeah, and the air just I mean, it kinda burns, but it feels better. Also, like, you're not sweating buckets.
Yeah. Okay. I think starting out running, if you're running in the heat, it's fine because it's like it's comfortable outside. But once you get into the middle or the end of the run, you're like completely dead because it's too hot. But for the cold, like getting out there is the hardest part
Oh,
because it's
yeah,
cold.
yeah.
But like in the middle and the end of the run is like the best because
Mm.
you just like glide through because
Yeah.
you're numb.
I what is it? Art retweet whatever you just said, Jam. That is an accurate assessment. The first warming up, because my body just feels like a ice cube and I cannot move. But then it's warm and it's like when it's cold out and you're running, for me, it feels better like while I'm running than like after I stop. Because as soon as I stop, I'm like, wow, it's really, really cold.
Yeah, and if you're sweating, your sweat turns cold and it's, like, even colder, so it's, like, it's incentive to not stop running.
I think you guys cracked the code. When you said you felt like an ice cube, I thought you meant like the rapper. I was like, oh, I don't know why I thought that. I digress.
We talk food.
Yeah, we should talk a little bit about food. Okay, I feel like food is more your guys's areas of expertise. I feel like I really don't do a whole lot with my diet. Like, I don't eat really terribly, but I also don't make an effort to eat super cleanly. I feel like I have a pretty average diet. Like, eat 2.5 meals a day on average, don't snack a whole lot, or eat out unless it's like with other people, or if it's depression junk food, that's an exception. But more on that later. um
Oof.
but yeah, but I don't do like a whole lot to actively control my diet either, so that's just my general take on food.
I feel like for me, and I thought a lot about food since, middle school, because I kinda went from not eating a lot of food, like, I didn't care about what I ate, but, like, I was just not eating a lot of food at all, to being forced to eat a lot more food, and then from there, kind of when I had more independence of, like, controlling what I ate, I think I always have a tendency to eat really cleanly
Mhm.
because it gives me, like, a peace of mind, and I think I mentioned this in our previous season where because I had like a pretty intense like insecurity with my body, it's like controlling what I eat helps me feel like I'm in control over this part of my life. And also by eating clean and exercising regularly, I am taking the best care of my body that I possibly can. And that kind of helps me cope with like other things that I'm not so happy about. So yeah, that's kind of why I pay more attention to what I eat.
That's probably the healthier way to look at it. I think if most people had that mindset, there wouldn't be so much pressure from like social media and like whatever societal norms that our parents sneakily comment on.
Yeah.
More on that later.
I mean, this also comes with a level of privilege where I have the resources to eat what I want to eat, and then also have the time and resources to work out regularly. So,
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on the topic. Um, I think I have a different mindset, and I like track what I eat because I realized from like a young age that my metabolism is like, I like to put it this way, instead of like slow, it's like slow metabolism. It's efficient where I don't need to eat a lot to do whatever I need to do. But then that sucks because like my appetite does not match. And like a lot of the eating sometimes comes from anxiety, which also isn't the same. So I need to kind of track what I eat. But another thing about me is that I'm trying my best to be vegan. And that, of course, also comes with some privileges. Like certain foods that are vegan, that are just naturally vegan, like all the fruits and vegetables and legumes. Those, those are like, the same cost as usual. But like if I want like a fun snack that's vegan, that's going to be more expensive, and it's a lot easier for me just because I have the resources to buy those snacks. And my brain is shooting in so many different directions right now. Like the concept of like the fact that like you can go to McDonald's for $1 and get so many calories is problematic. But yeah, I don't know what to say on the topic of nutrition and health, because like not all calories are the same. Definitely like eating an apple versus eating like another 90-calorie cookie or something.
Oh my god, how did you know off the top of your head that an apple is 90 calories?
So
I was sitting here like, oh yeah, she's gonna make a comparison, like, oh, to like, and then you were like a 90-calorie food, and I was like, oh, holy shit.
well, okay, so this is because I track my meals every day, because I know that if I don't, I'll definitely overeat. And sometimes I do overeat, even when I track, but that also gives me some peace of mind. I probably don't need to do it anymore, but I just like doing it because it's a habit. But yeah, ask me anything, and I'll probably know the amount of calories.
Oh my god, that's a
That's
cool
for a
part.
large apple. Smaller apples can be around 65, 75
That's a great party trick.
calories.
You should try
Yeah.
it to impress people. It
A
impressed
shot is around 100 calories, if you were curious.
me. That's funny. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Don't be. It's not for a fun reason. It's not like I just can read a label and remember it, because I do it every day.
I really feel like we could do a food episode, especially with y'all being such. Okay, I don't know if you guys would consider yourself food experts, but I would consider you guys food experts in my life.
I've looked into it. But then, like, we can also go into just like good food.
Yeah, because I like food. Oh my gosh, this is a tangent, but my roommate always makes fun of me because I'm always like, oh my gosh, I love food. And I really do. I really love good food. Like my mom makes amazing food. I've grown up my whole life having great food, but I'm a terrible chef and I hate cooking and I hate dishes. And so like my meals when I'm away from my home are so sad and my roommate makes fun of me for it. But I'm like, dude, I swear I love food. I'm a foodie. I just have no money and no skills.
Okay, I feel that. Like, my standards are so low given
Yeah.
my cooking skills.
I feel like we should cap it because y'all, this was a general overview and some background.
We can talk about too next time culture and like being Asian American and
Oh my gosh, yeah, we could talk about being Asian American and how the Asian community treats fitness in particular.
body image.
mm,
Yeah.
there's so much to cover.
Yeah. But I think we covered our stances on physical activity and nutrition pretty well.
I think we covered our bases.
Yeah.
Comment on thoughts WCJL.
Yeah.
Let us know if there's any specific stuff you want us to talk about.
Should we give our TLDRs?
Yeah.
TLDR, exercise keeps me sane.
I agree. TLDR, physical health is more than just exercise and fitness, even though those two things are important.
TLDR, if anyone wants to fund this project that I just kept talking about, if anyone wants to hire me as a consultant, comment on our Instagram.
She needs a job.
Yep. Bye, Jane.
Bye, Jane.